Hi everyone, my name is Laura and welcome to Book Bubbler. Today I have my May TBR. This is take number 3. I hope it's the last one I have to do. We'll see. Okay, so my TBR for this month is really whatever I want because May is my birthday month. So I'm not going to pressure myself into joining in 1,000 things, though I am joining in a lot more things than I thought I would. And I really just want to have fun reading, be spontaneous, indulge my mood reader heart, and just see what happens. So two readathons I just found out about recently that realistically I'm not going to have time to participate in, but wanted to tell you guys about in case you didn't know about them either. There's the Asian Readathon hosted by Cindy at With Cindy, and there is the Chick Littathon, and that is hosted by Sophie at All Things Equilateral, Jessie at Jessie's Shelf, and Trish at Trish Polk. She's on Instagram. So those two things I just found out about. I might read an Asian author. I might read a chick lit book this month. We'll see. I don't know, but I'm not going to push it, either way. I did pull this off of my shelf that's right next to me here. Rescuing Rose by Isabel Wolf. Do you guys remember Red Dress Press? Like, you knew you were getting a really great, fun book if you could find Red Dress ink. So, yeah, I have lots of those on my shelves here. Not lots. I mean, I probably have like 5 or 6, but still. Okay, let's get into actual readathons that I really hope to participate in. So the first one, and this is the big one, is Springathon, and I'm so psyched about this. This runs from the 1st, so it already started, up through the 14th, so just the first half of May, and it's hosted by Emma at A Cup of Books, Natalie at A Curious Reader, Juliana at Blank Garden, she's on Instagram, and then Doris at Aldi Books, and Heidi from My Reading Life. So the official book is The Way Through the Woods by Litt Woon. I didn't like the US version, and I didn't want to pay that much for a version I didn't like, and it's not in my library system, so I ordered a paperback copy from Book Depository. It should be here hopefully by the end of the week. That's about longing and grief, and also finding your way and healing in a forest and with mushrooms, and it sounds wonderful. I can't wait to read it. The second book is by Merlin Sheldrake, and is called Entangled Life. That's about mushrooms and fungi and how they communicate, how they live and die, all those things. So those are the two. I don't think I'll get to Entangled Life. I'm on a hold list at the library, but I don't think it'll be before the end of the month, so I might just cancel that hold, see how it comes up during the week. But I will for sure be reading The Way Through the Woods whenever it appears on my doorstep. So along with that, those two reads, there are 4 pairs, so there's 8 individual words that you can use to further read. And Springathon, it's all about nature writing, which if I haven't said, I don't know, you've probably seen a lot of TBRs for this, which is so interesting. It makes me really, really happy. So starting from the bottom, since I am going in reverse order now from how I started out this morning, it's been a day. Okay, so we have Buzz and Stillness. And for Stillness, I am so pleased by this. This is 1 Square Inch of Silence by Gordon Hempton and John Grossman. So it's about finding silence and still places in the United States. I think it's just the lower 48. Yeah. Yep. Also with this book, there is a CD. So this has 5 tracks on it from all over the US, each sort of region, Northeast, Midwest, all that stuff. And then there's also photographs from their trek around the United States to try to find something. Also, not only have I wanted to read this for a long time, but this is a beautiful cover, but dig this naked hardback. I mean, come on. Don't you want to I just want to walk there right now. Just breathe in that lovely fresh green air. Oh my God. Oh yeah. So very pleased at this pick and how well it fits. And then for Buzz, There's got to be buzzing in a backyard, right? This is the Backyard Parables, Lessons on Gardening and Life by Margaret Roach. For about 30 years now, Margaret has lived out in the country and learned the hard way about gardening and life and everything. So this is a memoir. She has another one too, I think, that I can't find somewhere in my house here, but this should be very interesting about what it's like in a backyard. Okay, the next two words are forage and hibernate. These are stretches. I'm not gonna lie, but I want to read them, so I don't care. For hibernate, excuse me, I picked Sea Room by Adam Nicholson, the story of one man, 3 islands, and 500,000 puffins. So this is set on the Science, I'm not sure how to pronounce that. It'll be Scottish. A set of 3 islands off of the coast of Lewis, which is already remote off the coast of Scotland. So it's Adam, he inherits the islands when he turns 21 and he moves there. So it's a memoir about him living there. It should be really good. And I'm assuming there's some hibernation periods there. And then for forage, again, this is just a stretch too, but it seems like fun. This is Blotto Botany, a lesson in healing cordials and plant magic by Spencer, or was it Spenker? Spencray? Whatever. I'm just going to say Spencer because I don't know how to say that otherwise. L.R. McGowan. So it's recipes for drinks. I think some are alcoholic, some are not. I don't know. But I'm sure there's things in here on how to forage for what you need to help. So that should be a fun read. Maybe I'll even make some too and make a little cocktail for myself. Okay, the next duo is Decay and Bloom. These are a little iffy as well, but let's just go with it. So I have Slime for Decay. How Algae Created Us, Plague Us, and Just Might Save Us by Ruth Kassinger. I'm assuming there's decay involved in algae. I mean, it's kind of goopy, so goop doesn't seem like a thriving thing. I mean, clearly it is, but I don't know. So let's go with it. And then for Bloom, again, this is a little bit of a stretch, but I'm going to try and read Harmony, A New Way of Looking at Our World by H.R.H. Prince Wales. I really admire Prince Charles for his forward thinking about environmental issues and preservation not only of homes, but also of ways of life and of gardening and, you know, working with nature and not against it. And I just... nothing else about him. I mean, he's fine, but I really admire him for this. So I'm hoping I can read this big coffee table book this month. And there's got to be some bloom in here, right? There's some bloom and stuff. There's bloom and stuff, isn't there? Okay, and the last two are Migration and Home. Now, I had a lot of choices here for home. A lot. I narrowed down to the two I really most want to read. So the first is The Still Meadow Road by Gladys Tabor. This is set throughout the year about her farm on the Still Meadow Road. Okay, here is the Chicago Sunday Tribune said of her Still Meadow Sampler, published in 1959. This book is a joy for all who love dogs and cats, and it is a precious gift to anyone who longs for wise counsel, contemplative hours, or an understanding friend. So it's a year about her living in her house, country life, dealing with things on the farm, visitors, all that stuff. This is, I think she's very well regarded on the East Coast, but sort of unheard of, not many other places. So looking forward to reading this one. And the other one I have for home, which this is kind of a stretch, but I just want to read it, so I'm counting it. This is Country Matters by Claire Leighton. Claire Leighton moved from London to Chiltern in the Burbs country at the time in the 1930s. And Claire was already a very well-known engraver. This is the cover she did. I mean, it's amazing. So this is about her life, getting used to country life, getting used to her home in the country. And some of her engravings are included throughout. And they are just, they're amazing. I can't draw really at all. So anyone who can draw is just, I mean, look at this. It's astounding. So I'm looking forward to this slim little book. And then for Migration, this one I know works. This is One Wild Bird at a Time by Bernd Heinrich. So each chapter focuses on a different kind of wild bird. Some of them I'm familiar with, some of them I am not, but it should be really interesting. So those are all of my choices for Springathon. I may not read any of them. I may read all of them. I may read all new things for this, or I might not read anything. I don't know. We will see. Okay, on to another thon. Oh, for Book Naturalists this month too, their book is The Way Through the Woods by Long Litt Woon. So double up for me. If I read that book, I am golden. Then let's do buddy reads, shall we? Okay, so I have my year-long read of the Pink Carnation series with Dani at Finale Speaks. Hey girl. We are on to book number 6. We're a book ahead. This is The Betrayal of the Blood Lily by Lauren Willig. This time all the action takes place in India. And so far, the main couple, who is not a married couple, one is married, one is not, I like them better so far, and I like the setting in India. It's different from Ireland, France, England, where we've been before. So I like the change of pace, I like the change of setting. So far, so good. So we're working on this one. And then also with Dani and 2 other lovely ladies, Emily at Novell Novels and Ange at Ange's Book Chatter. We are on the 2nd month of a 2-month read-along for East of Eden by John Steinbeck. We are just over the halfway point, and wow, Kathy is... she's something else. This is my first Steinbeck, and I wasn't sure what to expect, and I am really enjoying it. It's fun to hate someone when you can really hate them and not feel bad about hating them, you know? Okay, for the 1900 to 1950 readathon. This is the first time this is happening. This is hosted by Katie at Books and Things. And I love this time period. Like, the first half of the 20th century is great, especially the time between the wars. I really am into it. So I looked on the shelves right here next to me and just pulled 4 off that fit that prompt. So the first one is Mrs. Ames by E.F. Benson. Mrs. Ames is the queen bee in her small town of Riseborough. And then a new lady comes in, Mrs. Evans, and she catches the eye of Mrs. Ames's son and husband. And soon enough, she is like the person everyone wants to know, and she sort of becomes the queen bee. Mrs. Ames doesn't want to take it anymore, so at a dinner party, a fancy dress dinner party hosted by Mrs. Evans, Mrs. Ames decides to do something about this. Fun domestic things. Then I have Virginia Woolf, one of my favorites. This is Between the Acts, one of her latest published books, and has to do with annual village pageant at Points Hall. Book weaves together the musings of several disparate characters and their reactions to the imminence of a war which is to change the pattern of history. This is set in 1939. This should be good. Another of my favorite authors, Edith Wharton. God, she's so good. This is Twilight Sleep, published in 1927 for the first time. Deals with, it's a satire of the Jazz Age. So dark. It's supposed to rain here pretty soon. I hope it does. Okay. Sex, drugs, work, money, infatuation with the occult, and spiritual healing. These are the remarkably modern themes that animate Twilight Sleep. That should be good. And then Angela Thurkel, or is it Thurkel? I'm probably going to say Thurkel. No matter what way I say, it's going to be incorrect. I apologize. This is one of the few novels she has written that's not part of her Barsetshire Chronicle series. I really enjoy that. Oh, These Men, These Men. This is published in 1935. Believed to be something of a roman à clef, it deftly chronicles the sorrows and renewals, the heartbreak and graduation of happiness in the life of a refined young woman who has weathered the end of an ill-started marriage. I also like that it's thin. I'm not going to lie. So some choices I could maybe read for the 1900 to 1950 readathon. And the very last thing I have on my TBR for March, sorry God, May, wow, May, is to read books that I have been gifted over the years. I am very lucky in the fact that my friends and my family know me and respect me and buy me books. Thank you, friends and family. So I pulled again some off of the shelf here. I have Ties by Domenico Starnone. This is translated from Italian by Jhumpa Lahiri. It's about a marriage, somehow. Then I have a local to me author. She lives around Milwaukee, I believe. This is her first novel set in Milwaukee, The Coincidence of Coconut Cake. Everything she writes tends to be a little bit magical realism, I think, and usually set in Wisconsin, which is really fun for me. Then I have From Here to Eternity, Traveling the World to Find the Good Death by Caitlin Doty. Love her channel here on YouTube. She's great, and I look forward to reading about death rituals around the globe. Next up, The Rest is Noise, Listening to the 20th Century by Alex Ross. This is a very thick, very heavy, almost 700-page book about 20th century. A lot of music all around the world. And yeah, it's really dense, and it'll take me more than a month to read it whenever I start reading it. So this should be exciting. And then the last one I'll talk about, The Atlas of Cursed Places, A Travel Guide to Dangerous and Frightful Destinations by Olivier Lecarrer. I got this for Christmas several years ago. This should be really interesting. And it's all real places. Like Tonina, Mystery of the Mayas. And this, I can't read this backwards. I also can't see what I'm doing. So, yeah. Ooh. Love stuff like this. Love illustrated books for adults. Really excited. Okay, that's all I've got. That's a lot, I realize. Thanks for hanging in. Are you guys joining in on any of these readathons? Anything here look really interesting? Let me know. I hope you're all doing well and staying safe, and I will see you very shortly with the next one.